So I'm back, and I blew up my nose. I forgot what I was talking about, so we're just gonna carry on with like it's a normal conversation that you and I are having. But I'm just, basically looking at myself in a mirror reflection and receiving messages from people. So I was gonna not use this deck, but they're saying that there's a message as like the positive sign for you to look forward to. What's the sign? It's just like that Ace of Base song. I saw the sign. I saw the sign. All the 80s. Good tunes, man. Good tunes. What card or cards need to pop? See? Pop. Whoa, wow. That's a lot. That is a lot. Holy moly, that's like split perfectly in three. Well, ain't that fascinating? Here, let's try something different. Let's try something new, right? When you're a tarot reader, you gotta kind of change it up because the flow of the cards really want to talk to you, right? So if you're learning tarot, this like changing it up when they talk to you, you have to listen instead of like, oh my god, and then you get angry with yourself because you spilled your cards. But how sometimes how they fall in three perfect, heights, some bigger than the others, but the messages are still there, right? Like three perfect. And so now that you've stopped and took a moment, what are you doing, right? What's on top? And then even the ones on the bottom. You could technically read it by going this one, this one, this one, all the way. It's like a flip book. So if that feels right, I'll do that. And if it doesn't, then I'll stop and know that I'm learning from like the highest high of divine and trusting my intuition and just going with it. Even though that sometimes the stories might not make sense, you can always get clarity, right? From like this little deck compared to my energy, like blue energy, right? So you can always get clarification from other cards, and especially the ones that talk to you. It's not always a bad thing either. So, each of my decks have stones attached to them, and I rotate them. Like, there's the spiritual of the energy that's in the cards also have to be cleansed. I usually have them under light and like keeping them as my entertainment and spectacle. And it radiates their energy when I am in at the channeling mode, that I can feel that energy if they want to be speaking or not. That's how powerful sometimes energy is. And then you rotate, like this is black obsidian, right? Keeping the negativity at bay. I haven't used this one much. It's been basically a paperweight for the decks, and it cleans out the energies. So if you're wondering how to do that, you go to a metaphysical store. There's many here in Edmonton, and you go into a rock store, even like if you go into Silver Cove in Edmonton, and I think there's one in Lacombe, right? I think there's two stores, Lacombe and Edmonton. And you go into the store, and when you're open to the rock type of energy, gems and things like that, they'll vibrate, they'll talk to you, they'll attract you, and you're like, oh my god, this is so beautiful. This one I have to take home with me, because now that you feel like you've got a special bond with it, and it was supposed to be in your life for a reason, right? That's the same thing. So that you bring sometimes rocks and things like that that aren't supposed to be touched every day. It's like you can keep it in your pocket to rub off the negativity. Stones are very important, and same with silver. If you want protection, silver is what you should be wearing. But there's also very importance to be getting like onyx, black obsidian, and like putting it on your decks to like have a shield over the energies that you have communicated with. It's a good way to like change. It's to change the energy from the decks. This one is labradorite. I've got 2 labradorites here. I've got a rose quartz. I've got the very special, I call it the 7 Sisters. And then I've got my black obsidian, and I've got rose quartz. I've already mentioned that, right? And then this deck has a key, another little key, right? So, unlocking messages. Pretty cool. Okay, so let's see what Spirit wants to communicate with you. You got career. So, stopping a career to be going into a new career. Maybe. Fertility. Birthing a new idea. Right? Because this has to do with career. It's not about getting pregnant. You can birth a new idea, like when you brainstorm on an idea, that it branches out like a tree, right? Just like in career here, you got the tree. And then you're stepping up onto your ladder because you're birthing the idea that your career is possible with the movement forth. Like you're birthing the idea. It's fertility. Each person has it. And it's not sexual. Like this has no sexual connotations to it whatsoever, because you're pregnant with the idea of being abundant, especially when you have no money whatsoever and you're in dire need of like trying to get back onto things. And like perhaps the thing that you're passionate about, like maybe going to the beach and picking up driftwood and making jewelry out of it, or make arbutus wedding rings with silver on the inside, or like implant gems on the inside, right? Using core samples, if you can get it from mines, different core samples or samples from wood, and like inlay it in wood, right? Do things outside of the box that someone would pay money for, like that type of thing. Or have like tiles made out of certain materials, right? Just ideas. Think outside of the box. People want energy, like a living energy. So wood and stone, like a time capsule of energy. And this is resin. No one makes these here in Alberta, by the way. You would have to go to BC. So wouldn't that be a cool little project? It's like some get them in, but not a lot of stores carry them. And the energy has to be like totally right. I'm still burning my incense. But anyways, traveling. So this could mean like you're moving overseas, far away somewhere. Could mean that, you're just moving a town over. Or, you're packing your bags because the growth and the choice in your career is moving you far away. Right? Learning to speak another language. Right? What choice of a language, right, would you like to have? I think Parisian French would be really nice to. It's so rolling R's, like the rolling hills there too. Beautiful. Anyways, um, so I see career, fertility, and travel. So think about your small business that you have an idea on. It's very important that you follow that and birth the idea that no one else is doing it, because no one else is doing it. That's the thing. So just don't listen to the naysayers, the people that create the noise, like just as an affirmation of what's happening in your life, and know that that's like the right thing to do. Um, when you plant, like fertility could also mean that you're planting the seeds, like you're planting the growth in different spots. And then people will actually see, like when you fan yourself out, like in a playing deck of cards, right? They see like a peacock's tail, right? They see like the abundance that you have. So fertility doesn't necessarily mean anything sexual, because this is a career choice. Choosing, like losing, or choosing, like not losing, but more or less choosing to get away from the 9 to 5 or the 3 to 11 or anything like that, so that you can get ahead, because you're choosing yourself. Self-love, you're focusing back on a career, and a career change that enables you to be your own boss and birthing ideas that no one else is doing. Like, look at winter time. What are people doing out there for winter time? What could you do differently if you had a business plan, right? If you had, you know, little incense. I gotta put it out. I'll be right back.